Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Hasi. Today we are going to cover algae chapter 15 and bryophytes chapter 16. Let's get started. Okay, so first start with the algae. So we have macroalgae and microalgae. So we have three groups or three divisions under each group. Okay, so let's start with where the algae is. Actually, algae is actually belong to another kingdom, which is Protista, but very closely related to plants. So that's why it's here. Okay. Plants move to the land because it was abundant and more consistent light available for photosynthesis, more plentiful and free circulating CO2, and less competition in the lands. So algae, they can be again plant-like or fungi-like algae. So some of them are autotrophic, they can make photosynthesis. Algae are very simple organisms. Again, green algae specifically more closely related to plants. Some algae are unicellular, that they have single cells like phytoplanktons. Some are actually in colonial, they live in colonies, and some are filamentous, and other ones are multicellular. So again, we have six divisions of the algae, so including chlorophyte, green algae, pyrophyte, brown algae, rhodophyte, red algae, and dinoflagella, diatoms, and euglenoids. So here is unicellular diatoms, very colorful and very high variation in terms of their diversity. We see in diatoms, red algae and brown algae. So green, brown, and red algae and diatoms, but they all have chlorophyll A. Some may have B, C, D. They are all in aquatic habitats. Reproduction can be asexual or sexual reproduction. Euglena, which is in the Eugleniophyta, which is motile algae with single large flagellum. And while there are some algae, actually they cause diseases in plants, like you see here. Phytophthora, which causes late blight in potatoes. Phidium, which causes damping of diseases. And Plasmopara causes downy mildew in grapes. Again, diatoms are in the Cryophyta. Red algae is basically Rhodophyta, which has corallina in it, Polysiphonia, Porolithion. So a very diverse algae group. Brown algae, which is the largest algae group, which is with fucus, kelps, rockweed, sargassum. They are all under the brown algae. Green algae, of course, most well-known green algae, Chlamydomonas, the unicellular green algae and a model system in biology, and motile, which has two flagella. And asexual reproduction, they use zoospores. Sexual reproduction, actually they have this plus and minus gametes, and fertilization, they can be in the zygospores, and then they go through the meiosis and produce zoospores. And there are much larger green algae like charas you see in this picture. Bryophytes is actually the next group of plants, which basically most primitive plants. They are non-vascular, no transport systems, small size due to vascular, again, no vascular system, no true root stems or leaves, just thallus, and rhizoids. They need water for reproduction, reproduces using spores, and again, they need help from the water. So dominant gametophytic growth format, it's bryophytes. So bryophytes is actually made of liverworts, hornworts, and mosses. Liverworts, Marchantia phyta, hornworts, Antophyta, and mosses, Bryophyta. They have a lot in common, and typical structure look like this. Gametophyte is dominant, sporophyte is more dependent on gametophyte. Gametophyte also female, which is Archegonia, and male Antheridia. Okay, so liverworts you can see here, no stomata, but there are some simple pores, look like stomata, but liverworts don't have stomata. 9,500 species exist already. Marchantia is a typical liverwort. Hornworts, a very unusual group. Basically, they have thallus, they have a horn looking like a splitting structure, and they're sporophyte, and again, gametophyte resembles liverworts. Mosses is the biggest group here, which has a leafy growth, which has 13,000 species. You can see here operculum opens up and then the capsule releases the spores. Okay, so mosses have actually some structure. They are called hydroids and leptoids, water and food conductance. We see in mosses. This concludes our chapters on 15 and 16, algae and bryophytes. See you in next